Desert computers. All right, we are officially live streaming here at Red or Green Books. Super, super excited to be coming to you live from my kitchen, but to bring you Stone Poetry by the one and only Rick Spisak. Oh, there you go, Marilee, Mike. Everyone's got the books, right? That's awesome. Let me let D. Allen in. It is a beautiful book, and for whatever reason, like my chair, the hydraulics in my chair just don't like to hold. So if I slowly start to sing throughout the show, I'm sorry. I'll do my best not to. This is a wonderful book. It is so funny. It is definitely not boring. You could flip to any poem and really get a rise from anything that's in here. And of course, it has a bunch of his drawings of stones, of rocks, of other things in here. So you get his artwork as well in his book. Today, so a couple quick announcements, a couple little housekeeping things as we get started today. I'm going to just ask that everyone stay muted unless they're reading, because that helps things move a lot faster. It helps keep things from getting too distracting or too loud. This is not an open mic, but I do understand that some of you are here to read for Rick some of his work. So that isn't awesome. So I'll just say again, if you're not reading, just please keep yourself muted. However, when the reader's done, you're welcome to unmute your mics, go a little crazy, because we like a little crazy. It was like the good kind of crazy, okay? So that's fine. There are no trigger warnings on anything typically on this platform. So, I mean, this is a live poetry open mic, not open mic, a live poetry reading of Rick's book. So, if you know Rick, anything could come out this book, and you got to be ready for anything. So that being said, if you are reading a poem of his today and you feel it does need a trigger warning, you're welcome to advertise that or call that before you read. We will embrace that, but please know this is a live poetry event. Anything can happen. The other thing I will ask is please do not use or abuse the chat. If I feel you're a threat to anyone in this room, you will be gone, baby gone, and not allowed the fuck back in. And I use the F word because it's really important that we break that barrier early and realize this is a live adult poetry reading. And so you might hear words like that. So language is open to use, and there's no censorship outside of hate speech on this platform. All right. Yesterday, we had the most amazing reading of American Graveyard Calls to End Gun Violence. It was the last reading for 2023. And I bring it up because Rick was there. Rick is in this book. Like, there's a lot of people in this room who are in this book. This is our collective community call as poets and authors for an end to gun violence. From this book spawned American Graveyard, the art book. Next year, we are looking to do art installations at different galleries around the U.S. So if you have connections, please let us know. We have a sponsor a senator program. If you don't know what to get someone for the holidays, and they've already got you stone poetry for Christmas or for Hanukkah or for the holidays or just because, right? Then I highly recommend that you do a sponsor a senator on behalf of a friend. We will send this book anonymously to you, U.S. State Senator of your choice. Our goal is to send it to all 102 U.S. State Senators. There's a book club every month here at Red or Green Books for those who don't know. And for every month, there's a $5 coupon code. So you can kind of slowly start to accumulate some of the books from Red or Green Books, a little bit less expensive fee, if you will. The 2024 New Mexico Poetry Summit is scheduled. You can go to the website, redorgreenbooks.com, red, R-E-A-D, redorgreenbooks.com. You can see this past year's summit photos from that. There's a movie coming out on it. Plus, we have the 2024. You can see the lineup of who's going to be here, including Generalissimo Brian Franco, who's in the room tonight. So super excited. G's coming here to be part of that. And then if you've never published a book of poetry and you're interested in doing so, I am assembling letters of intent to publish for the 2024 debut poetry launch. It's all debut poets who've never done a collection before. It doesn't mean you weren't in an anthology or published in a journal, but this would be your first book. So you're welcome to email me, Marissa at redorgreenbooks.com. The people on that list so far, you don't want to not be on that list. I'm just going to say that. It's an incredible launch we have for next year. All right, so those are the announcements for the press. This video will go up onto YouTube, so if you have not been to the YouTube account, please go check it out. All the readings are there. So we're going to open with a discussion. We have Rick kind of explain a little bit about him, his journey to writing stone poetry, what you're going to expect when you get the book and you open it up and you start to read it, what led up to this book. And it's not a little book. This is a big book, right? This is no slouch of a book. It's got 192 numbered pages. There you go, Finn, right? So it's not a slouch. It's nice and heavy, and it's incredibly thought-provoking as well, which I love. And then we'll go into the reading. I have Ian McKenzie, Finn Hall, Prasanna Kumar, Kemlin Tan Bappy, Eddie Foreman, Leslie Constable, Henry L. Jones, Raoul. I haven't seen that cat for a while, and Annette Tarpley. If we have time, then we'll add Mona Neal, Generalissimo, and Marilee. We'll see how long today runs through. I understand if everyone loves Rick and everyone wants to read his poems, we'd be here all day. And I don't mind that, but at some point we have to say this is the lineup and this is what we're doing, okay? So Rick, why don't you, and remember, this is live streaming, so there might be folks watching who are not in the room, and this will be posted at a later date as well, so folks might watch this after today. But why don't you go ahead and tell folks a little bit about you, a little bit about stone poetry, what they can expect, how it came to life, all of that good stuff.
Well, thank you so much, Marissa, for all that you do for poets, for authors, the support that you give the poetry community. You are not just loved and trusted, you're respected. And I can't pay you any higher regard than that. My friends, I'm going to apologize in advance. As you know, I'm being treated. It's a rough road sometimes. And so I'm going to lean on you a little bit to reduce some of the reading. And I appreciate you so much for showing up. I know we all have 1,000 opportunities to do things, not to mention perhaps contemplate, perhaps have some human time. And I thank you from the bottom of my soul for taking a little time to join in, okay? Now, I want to talk a little bit about my writing. And it starts out this way. When I was a young kid, I became aware of poetry when in 7th grade, our English teacher put us to a challenge. She said, I want you to write something. We've been doing a series of studies on reading different books about Native Americans, about Native American culture. And I became absolutely aware of how attuned I was to Native American sensibilities. My family became aware of what you might call pollution and respect for Earth when I was very young. I would think I was no more than 5 or 6. We read Rachel Carson together, discussed it as a family, and we turned our lives around and became completely organic people. And from that, and part of that, I became so interested in Native American culture, I really steeped myself in it as much as, a colonialist can, but out of deep respect, deep respect. And in this English class, out of clear blue sky, the English teacher said, okay, I want you to write a poem about a Native American. And I thought, how interesting, what an interesting concept. So I wrote this poem. I'm going to try to do this from memory from 7th grade. When I go hunting for the bear, my hunting bow and arrows I wear. I see the bear go to his cave to corner me. Oh, what a knave. I put an arrow in my bow. I quickly bend and let it go. The arrow went into his head, and right away I knew he's dead. As I knelt down to take his skin, I saw another of his kin. The bear came at me, bared his teeth. I pulled my knife out from it. You notice I'm still doing cheesy jokes. The bear came at me, bared his teeth. I pulled my knife out from its sheath. I threw my knife. It missed its mark, and the bear kept coming through the dark. I put an arrow on my bow. I quickly bent and let it go. The arrow barely pierced his side, and even that could break his stride. The bear slowed down, and then he stopped. By then, I think it could have dropped. The bear stood still and looked at me, and then I knew this had to be the end.
Yes. Oh, I absolutely love it. Like, y'all, like, Rick. You've heard him read. You need to get this book. I would love, like, this ought to be an audio book also because Rick is has a unique voice, and I'm sure I'm not alone in saying, like, when I hear your voice, I feel very much like at home because we all shared so many hours of Zoom, and he's got one of those very familiar voices. So I just absolutely, absolutely love that. Um, all right, so I will read. So Kemlin is here, and she's one of the readers, and she wrote a review on Rick's book. So I'm going to read a little bit of the reviews, so you can get a sense of what everyone else is saying, and then we'll go into the list for readers today. Kemlin Tan Bappy writes, Spisak's satirical approach to socio-political challenges is almost an absurdist hyperbole. The imagery this word wizard conjures range from playful tongue-in-cheek to slap in the face. Did he really say that? Yes, he did. Each piece will reward multiple reads with fresh insight each time. And then Laura Gretel, Meher Prestanji, Gobinda Biswas, Robert Cole, and others have left. Gelda Castro. Gelda's, hers is the last review in here, and she writes, Richard Spisak is not just a remarkable producer, writer, poet, or brilliant wit. Richard is a being that brings together all these qualities and much more. And yet he remains simple in the face of the little big things in life. That's why reading his astonishing writings is such a pleasure. It's always an invitation to reach the portal of knowledge he offers us constantly through his poems, always making a bridge from his heart to the heart of the world. It is simply unmissable, simply unmissable. And so that is just this incredible, incredible book. Rick, where can people buy your book? How can they find you, follow you, all of that stuff?
I will put a link in the chat. They can always contact the good people at Read or Write Books. So that's
Yeah,
one place you can go. But I'll put an address if you want to get a copy right from me. I'll be happy to sign one for you. And by the way, everyone here today will get a couple of my stone graphics. Part of the reason for this book is that I I've written so many years, and I really felt that I wanted to create a metaphor for the beautiful stolidity, the solidness of so many beautiful poets. So many. It's such a common misapprehension that poetry is an ephemeral thing. It flashes through the air. It's gone. You heard it in the reading. Maybe you caught most of it. Then it's gone. But to me, I wanted to salute, and this is not about my work alone. It's about the powerful work that changes the world, that changes hearts, that changes lives, the work that you do. So this is really a call to you. And as something of a wizard, something of a magician, I know that any metaphor you conjure will be conjured against you. And I wondered for a second, did it make sense to use the metaphor of stone? Maybe I was creating the reminder in my own world of the insubstantiation, of the subtle, the translucent quality of our lives. And when I really came to that conclusion, that's when I wrote the poem called Light in the Saddle. And that's a poem about, we may have what plans we have, we may have what goals we have. They're interesting, and that's, it'll keep you occupied. But there's what is substantial in this world is your powerful spirit, and that is very much in my heart. So after worrying for a minute about choosing that metaphor, I said, brother, in for a dime, in for a dollar. You called it. Let's play along. And as you know, I've gotten this interesting little physical challenge. And this guy you knew is a very furry fellow. is has had a new hairstyle brought along. So
And I told you this last night, and I'll tell you again today. Bald is beautiful, Rick. We love you no matter what.
thank you, my friends. Thank you. I'm going to read one more, and then I'm going to invite my friends who came with a very, very generous thought to read. Okay. Oh, let's read. That's right. I have a list right here. You know, we live these interesting creative lives, and sometimes our creative lives and our real life mixes, and sometimes it doesn't. And this is a little tribute to the human life that I have, and this is a tribute to my mom, my grandma, my wife, and my daughters. This is called The First Gifts. The First Gifts. Yes, you're welcome, those babes at your breast. You gave them for your own life's sustenance. Thought first of them, their pleasure, their pain, their needs, then some other, then yourself. You brought them through the most holy, sacred gate that they will ever enter into the world and into human life. It can be said that you gave them the first gifts. Before the gods at the cradle round bestow those precious others, you clothed them in flesh, gave them a first form. What cells and man and fashion could give, you gave first. Before your gifts there was nothing, and your giving self made every other giving possible. When that first cry is heard, it calls your name. When each searching hand first reaches out, it reaches out for yours. When you press the tiny lips to your breast and smell those first tender breaths, those sweet garden scents are meant for you alone. As tiny fingers first begin the long, lonely search, they search first for you. Never is this new being more beautiful than when seen with your eye. Never is the kind of blessing given than that given from your eye and heart. No wonder the mother is so universally blessed. No wonder such sacred blessedness belongs first and last to mothers. Thank you.
I love it, Rick. I love it. Let's go. Y'all are welcome if you want to unmute your mics to give him some love before we have the readers go. You're welcome to do so.
Thank you, my friends. Thank you.
Yes, much love.
Absolutely.
Much love.
Loving the monkey
Absolutely, Rick.
impersonation, Rick.
Thank you, brother.
Very, very sincere.
Some contos in the house. What's up, poet? All
I'm
right.
good, yeah.
So we have a list, and I'll make sure and keep typing the list in the chat. I do not see Prasanna here, but what we're going to do is just go down the list. Whoever's here is going to read. If they're not here, they won't read, and we'll start to add those who are on the standby list. Okay. Like I said, this is not an open mic. For those who are joining us a little late, this is not an open mic. These are preset poets who are going to be doing specific poems of Rick's for his book release today. So just to go down the list, we have Ian McKenzie, Finn Hall, Prasanna, Kemlin, Eddie, Leslie, Henry, Raul, and Annette Tarpley, who I don't see here, but I'm excited for her if she can join us at the end. And then on standby, we have Mona, Neil, Generalissimo, and Marilee. And for those who have not really looked into the Michael Sindler, where are you supposed to be? I'm just going off the email that Rick gave me. Rick, where's Michael reading in that?
I'm sorry. You have to understand, I'm not in my intellectual peak right now. So
we know, we got you.
So if you
just
said you'd read, please add him to the list.
I'll just stick him where I want him. I'm just kidding, Michael. All right, so I don't see Prasanna here. And so if you were supposed to be on the original list, sir, I will put you in Prasanna's slot, and we'll just go. We'll go from there, okay? So the first three will be Ian Finn and Michael Sindler. For those who have not really followed the press, it's very exciting. This year we published our 56th book, over 200 people, and just shy of 700,000 words. One of our goals for next year is to publish the 1 millionth word. And so Rick is certainly part of the journey to a million words with his book. So if anyone would like to be part of the journey to a million next year, please reach out and let me know, because it's going to be an enormously impactful year next year. All right, let's see. Where's Ian? There he is. Hi, Ian. Let me go ahead and spotlight you. And you're welcome to go ahead and read first.
Okay, right. Well, I felt really honored when I got the call from Rick a couple of days ago, and followed by a moment of trepidation, thinking, can I do justice to that word magic and those twists and turns typical of Rick's poetry? So I'm going to have a go here with two poems, um, which Rick gave me a selection to pick from, which was very generous. So the first one is called Anointed Touch, Part Two. He didn't show me Part One, so I've no idea what this is a follow-on from. So an anointing touch of fire's desires unto the soothing silk of skin within, opes its hopes complete and inspires desire too sweet. The tender tongue tastes each sacred place, anoints the pleasure palace, though tender touch can win within and win its favored salty flavor of the skin. Sometimes the deep massaging message presages certain stresses. When dress torn adown and tresses found the places, tracing heartbeat racing, grace is. Tough touch can roughly tug and rob the walls formerly forbidden as the hand reaches out to that rich garden lush, no longer hidden, no more lidded, now opened and noted when the favored foot and each gentle tiny toe is ta'en. The brain buzzes, electric touches well warm in oiled scented hand, and taken gently shaken, that the feet and legs might well awaken and rise a snaken, and the sinew taken as the thighs sigh, and ope like dripping jungle fruits, slipping kisses, trace the legs and bless caresses with that sweet fire of desire, so even the tiniest toe will know what heat the fiery furnace shows. Each maddened morsel glows. Second one is called Pencil or Pen End. I really enjoy reading these poems, right? I know this is only the second time I've had a go at it. I said, your words kind of like go in all sorts of directions and tongue twisting and glorious in glorious array. So it's like I said, it's a real honor to do this for you. So pencil or pen extend. Then I say to you, write in pencil for all that's true. As for mine, I strike with ink to capture what my muse doth bring. I follow this star in desert and mountain, and would never quibble nor jibe with her glorious fountain. But dear sweet milady Mary, I would never chide nor complain in earnest, and tarry like foresters' fates of old, deep in drink foretold. Oh, then lost in some darkly wooden glen, be bold, but let me say again, my gentle friend, whom I to thee this marvellous missive send. Dear Mary, if thou wouldst prefer the pencil then, for its subtle shading, I say then, shun the pen. Then by my beard, or at least its stubble, then thou shouldst, may its speeding path be doubled. Wield the pencil merry when thou dost start, and avoid the trouble whene'er thy start. So give thy pencil wings, as it were, as if to ferry, for of thy very dear heart's missives I'll never chide or speak dismissive. Thank you.
Mm. Thank you so much, Ian. Thank you so much. Y'all are
Woo!
welcome to unmute if you would like and applause the reading.
Yeah.
Yeah, getting us off to a great start.
Lovely.
Woo!
Did him
Great read,
justice,
Ian.
Ian. You
Great
did him
read.
justice.
Great read.
Thank you. Thank you. The
All right,
words, it's the words that count. It's the words that count.
all right. Thank you, Ian, so much. Next up, we have Finn Hall, a couple of our UK friends to kick us off, and then Michael Sindler, you're on deck. Kemlin, you are in the hole. Let me find Finn. He's hard to miss. Hi, there you are. Let me spotlight you.
Gary. Hello. Right, great honor to be here. Rick and I have worked several times, written stuff together, and he's been in my collections as well. So it was really an honor to be asked to do this. He gave me a list as well, which I promptly lost. So I've just picked 2 random poems out of the book. So I hope it hasn't clashed with anyone. I just crashed it out. So this first one I just decided a minute ago, called Save the Wars. We must work or quirk to save the world. This I say with my newly sharpened dirk. But that's what bombs and guns are for. When we go into a savage rage like tigers with both hands, save them block by block and gore from floor to floor. Goddamned! With dunning bombs to graves, we'll talk, and with our guns we'll happily grave after grave after grave after grave. Whole city blocks we will improve with our mortars, 50 cows renewed. Sure, some folks will then inherit, some without cause or even merit, but we're sure it will improve as we sow their land of gardens with our metallic bitter doom. Yes, their children well may find shrapnel left in their hands or break ope their minds, reaping from families, as you may say, scattered to an unrushing, unmarked groves of graves. Urban redesign we do at speed, blocks the rubble as quick as need. From 30,000 feet and we're through. Oh, I meant thorough, don't you know blue? Uprooting democracy, row by row, undeserving, swerving, undeserving glow. Some may tire of carnage, them I will never endear, and will eternally in the highest caliber disparage. Very apt for this times anyway, very apt. And I'm going to do this one, The Insanity of Vanity, on page 29, if you want to read along. No one can tell from what particular pecuniary hell her craft refined to find your name subscribed on noble rolls confined. What memory, what fragile hemorrhage will spill upon these hoary rolls of time and thrill? The fashion splash, what names will rise and thus subscribe today's passion lays our lusts. Our mark, our spark, and 10,000 darks can stain a day. What last? What will not pass? The insanity of vanity parlayed that dares to stain how little the humble remains in this vast acre of infinity. Only the rich now support eternity snorts.
Let's go, Finn Hall. Oh, thank you for your reading. Y'all are welcome to unmute if you would like to.
Yeah, Finn, that was great.
Finn.
The magic of the Scottish voice.
You can't miss said Poetastic's like woo woo in the in the midst of it all, right? I love it. All right, Michael Sindler, you are up next, followed by Kemlin. You are on deck. Eddie Foreman, Poetastic, you are in the hole. Let me find Michael and spotlight you, sir. There you go.
Okay. As people have said, Rick was nice enough to send a list that some of the stuff in there is not included in the book, but obviously it's going to be great things. And there was one that especially just touched me that I wanted to go ahead and read, and then I'm going to read one that's in the book. But this is called Salam. Hand touches forehead, a blessing offer, a divine coin from that golden coffer, peace and light extended, with that light that never ended, the calm and peace of the offered blessing. This calming wave reduces stressing. Touch the forehead, chakra extended, all of that trouble stuff of life then ended. Offered service, offered peace, any clouded thought released. Calling, calming from the highest self, raining blessings from the highest shelf. No one higher than another, all men shining equal brothers, wishing to our sisters peace, from any and all those onerous burdens relief. In a world where pecking order reigns supreme, an acknowledgement of the sacred self, the exquisite dream, the brilliant truth of inner light. Ah, salam, I salute you, your highest self, the divine truth, eternal light. And, you know, if that isn't Rick Spisak, I don't know what is. That's pretty perfect. And I'm going to do one that is in the book, and it's called The Fawn on the Morning Lawn. A more pastoral tableau. Who might ever on a morning early know the dew on the summer grass still rested, a blessing confessed, and blessed there on the lawn a lovely blossom, a dear, a mere child fawn, left to rest, a testament to the safety of what might otherwise be a forest glade, remained a quiet suburban lawn. Struck by the beauty, these residential folk took note, not wanting to disturb the lovely fawn resting quiet on the lawn. She put the vehicle in neutral to drift silent down the drive, floating quiet, hoping for the young deer to remain and thrive, and yet feel welcome and not worried, not wanting her quiet rest there to be sullied yet. But as the truck drifted silent down the hill, young Mr. or Miss Spawn launched herself with joyous leaps and in a moment fled from her grassy bed across the lawns, this jangled and disturbed, nervous fawn. She was across the lawn and down the street before the cart even rolled complete to the street, her escape abounding, noiseless, and in a moment gone. This fawn no fled from forest lawn, gone in a few fleeting seconds, her mom feeding nearby, beneath the self-same, still morn tinged, still safe suburban sky. Thanks for letting me be part of that, Richard. Love you, brother.
Mm. All the love. Oh, yes.
Beautifully read.
Oh,
Yeah,
Cameron.
Michael, that was amazing.
You add such gravitas, Michael, with your voice. It's beautiful.
Yes, yes. Michael's voice is almost as nice as Rick's. Uh, all right, let's keep going. Kemlin is up next. Kemlin's got a better voice than both of you, so y'all are in trouble now. You just be
Nah.
glad Diane Murray Ward's not reading today. We'd all be in trouble.
Exactly.
And so Cameron, Eddie, Poetastic, you are on deck. Leslie Constable's here. Oh, I missed her when she was here in New Mexico. We'll miss her next time though. So Leslie, you are in the hole, meaning you are in two. Let me find Cameron. Hi, Cameron. Let me spotlight your skin.
Hi. All right, so I'm going to be reading People of the Land, which was a prompt that our retreat, Q's Blue World's poetry retreat in Penang generated that prompt. So Rick wrote to it, and I thought it was two beautiful responses. So here they are. People of the Land may dig their heels in sand or soil with clay that day then, come what may, when fingers turn and churn the soil long before we dreamt of royals, as we turn the soil with our staggered step, whether plain or fancy clad, or even early royally crept, let us hearken back to ancient men and women when they stood as teamed with the soil, not so much to harvest, but to gather in and broil before soil was enriched by tillage. It was employed through forest river spillage. Deltas sought for bounty fresh from the river's ebbing dragage mesh as ancient humans harvested readier ripe wills blossom crops unsteady before the soil was broke in hope and farmers spoke with fleeting seeds of needing hope. Yet from the soil and the water's cup and great rivers yielded fishies up. They from the berry bush and gathered root high atop the nurturing turf, forsooth, raised up the cup, but not yet vermouth. Not more so found the lip, but raised from soil earth her bounty gave. And though we dared to climb the mountain top until raised up higher than yet earth does stop, and rain we know as it is falling down to earth and then grows crawling to find its vaster friend, even birds that cross the sky, nestling tress whose steady feet doth ply upon the earth so sacredly, and later in our philosophy will in that same name, that same self-same sacred gravel loosely, juicily thence for us unravel. Such great bounties, then such plenty, though our village tillage 120 acres so employed for each beauteous girl or boy. So Rick, thank you so much for being such a advocate for our online literature community. You and your shows, Poets of the East, and hosting various experiments. Thank you so much for keeping us afloat during some really, really difficult days, and the always speaking up in your characteristic voice of satire and parody, and oftentimes full, like Ian said, what Michael does, which is to bring gravitas. Your words bring gravitas to the concerns and injustices and social issues of our world. People of the land, too. Oh, you who come to visit our blue-green ocean so exquisite when you come out and flat float far above the deep blue seas where we live and love up there, so tall above it all, so drenched in air, so inhospitable, unsupportable, empty air, deplorable, where our gills seethe unrestorable and cannot ever breathe. Yet you journey out to plunder our rich world blue redoubt down here so deep down under, grabbing fishies, scaly families torn asunder against our wishes, war on fishes. You send your nets down like evil clouds that scoop us up without a sound. We fishy folk sometimes give up our finny hope when beset by netties downward, gnawing, yawning rope, drag or drop to the bottom for your netting service, so horrendous renown, heedless of what devastation you served us. Lo, your grabbing, gnawing rain disturbs us. Why can't you people of the land understand? Our merfolk try to protect us when they can. Resign yourself to live and hunt in air. We never disturb or rob you there. While the world above is in no way respects us, we don't hunt you on your shore. Though you so often brutally afflict us, you people of the soil, bring us very temples to a boil. You people of the land, God, I swear you're out of hand. From these our fisheries and our mermaids, you could never earn our accolades. You people of the land, how you plague us, can you comprehend? How we finny folk abhor you? Go back to shore, no more thrust. No more thrust. Your grabbing greasy gore on us. Every school of fishies taught us of the dangers that you've brought us. Every dolphin, seal, and whale might sit you down and spin their tail. Every walrus, squid, and narwhal has the scars to prove it without fail. All the gruesome digs you plague us, you people of the soil, enrage us.
Whew, let's go. Let's go, Kemlin. Oh,
Yeah,
what an incredible read.
Woo! Kimlin,
Good
woo, Birdman.
Yes,
yeah,
nice
great
read, nice
reading, and
read,
it's
and a
just
very great word of appreciation there in the middle.
yeah,
Awesome.
just such a great way Rick just twists the viewpoint and makes such a great statement with that. It's just beautiful.
Great job, Kemlin.
Thank you all.
All right, we're gonna keep rocking and rolling. Hopefully, Kemlin makes it to the summit in September. Because I got to hug her not too long ago when we went to Phoenix this summer. But I always love seeing Kemlin, and I love that she lives so close to me. I say so close, like it's far, but it's still close. It's closer than like Rick. He's really far away from me. All right, Poetastic Eddie Foreman. I got you up now, and then Leslie. I messaged Henry yesterday. They had a huge tornado warning last night for his location. So I don't know if they have had internet really restored or how that's working for him. If he does not make it, then Raul will be will be after Leslie. All right, let me find. I know. See, this is why he loves me though. I get to roll my R's for him. There Poetastic, there you are. All right, let me spotlight you, sir. Take it away.
Thank you. You call me sir, and I call you sister. Thank you, Rick Sparks. It means so much. Words coming from your heart. Thank you for honoring me, and I just picked some of your poetry. I picked two, so help everyone's not sad or blue. So I'm gonna push on through. This is Rick Sparks. This is called Uses of Humor. At a loss and at the cost, and after loss, at death, at what is left, at the action, at the action, at the fools and at the rules, at the cost and what is lost, at the fools and at who rules, at the price, what they call nice, at the war and what in store, at the silence and all the violence, at the joy, at girls and boys, at our humors, at the rumors and the tumors, at the cost and at the loss, with our friends at our ends. Thank you. And what is left and what is next is this wonderful piece. This is called Isn't That Just Like War? That's really what is for war. Why old men just adore war. Like the money, men, more war. What the youth and truth adore war. The soldiers doesn't know war. Till we shows up to see the score war. What's waiting there and more war. And what he's fighting for war. At the prophets there and more war. At the ghastly cost and gore war. And what he's left at the door war. Refugees in panic, women and children frantic, dashing down a lonely road, nothing but dread, clear, unknown. Will they always be alone? Will their men protect a home? Loading up the trains with millions lost their brains. What is the real damn cause? Who's writing the tiny final clause? Some past glories, fury, some. The old equations, the final evil bring one. At those train stations of all those lost nations, the bloody blossoms shaken, 'cause some are hoary gent. Remember what was left. At some old ancient glory, that's the story. Isn't that just war for? Doing to you the hustle right on through, yeah. Doing to yeah. We taint our grew war. That's really all that's new war. That's what we're going through war. That is never nothing. True war. Thank you. and that is from our wonderful Rick Strikes.
All right, all right. Thank you,
Okay,
Poetastic.
yeah.
Even Rick
Awesome
Spisak
job, Eddie.
write a poem for Poetastic to recite. Like that was the perfect fit.
Yeah. Was just, yeah, great job.
We have to
I
give it
love.
up to our wonderful, wonderful feature and his book, Rick Strikes. Woo!
There you go, Poetastic. All right, let's keep going. We got the one and only, the lovely Leslie Constable in the house. And then we have Raul. And then I do not see Annette Tarpley. So then we'll go Mona, and then we'll go down the list. If Neil is here, then Neil, Generalissimo, and Marilee. I know Clive is here, but he's not on my reading list. So I didn't know if that was like an error. An error has occurred in your list. Like, why would Clive not read one of the satire pieces? I would think that would be hilarious if Clive wants to read. All right, so let's go. Let me find Leslie. It's almost impossible to miss her. She is just so lovely. And then poor Raul will have to follow that. So we'll just, let that sink in for him. Hang on, where did she go? There we go. All right, take it away, Liz.
Okay. Hey, I am so honored to be here and be part of this, dear Rick. It was so hard to select the poems. I just had so many favorites, and Kemlin read the one I had selected, so I had to do a quick change. So these I'm just picked ones that just immediately spoke to me. This one is called "Lo, Thou Polished River Stone." While wild water rushed o'er thy ruddy, ruffed, woeful face, thy silent heart spake, not haply tumbling thee, the sparkling waters rushed through water polished, the stubborn stone resistless the powerful pummeling. Thy silent heart spake not, hear my voice. Oh, though gentle rocking urge there, thy silent heart spake not, though swirling waters surround thee, 10,000 mad molecules dance free, thy silent heart spake not. And the second one is Ode to an Ordinary Object. In the sacred swirl of the material world, where the magic dance of energies twirl, enhance each boy and every girl, the sacred space, the dazzling shimmer, where sunshine brightens and reveals the eternal glistening glimmer, my eyes beheld the reflected glory of all the sunlight illumined story. If, when I tell my hand, outreach, and it springeth thus the ringing article in, that I might teach, my senses assert a solid object that may then be examined. With this mind, I've colleged, not exist. In this energetic dance that has not been blessed, my divinities glance, and if you find yourself midst those who instead of blessings count my woes, let me inform you, oh brother Blake, urges us to avoid that sad mistake and somehow classify what we see, feel, and touch as somehow beyond heaven's zeal and blush. All that liveth, so saith Blake, is divine and blessed, make no mistake. So if you insist, you see us all beset by woes, so then lift up your head, do not calculate by toes, and then with face plant, berry nose, lift up your head from root to blossom, and all that horde of worrying cares, feel free to toss them. So that's it for me. Very lovely. Thank you.
Oh, yay, Leslie Constable. Y'all feel free to unmute your mics if you would like to.
All right. Yes, if one's taken, there's plenty of other great ones to go with, and you did good.
Always
It's
good to hear you read.
Well
It's
done, Kevin.
amazing how all these people and all the different backgrounds and voices and styles, but like they can all read Rick, right? No one can read Rick like Rick, but but they're all doing justice to the work. Absolutely. All right, I don't see Henry, so Raul is up next, and then we have Mona because I don't see Annette Tarpley. Mona, and then Neil, you will be in the hole. Let me find you, sir, and spotlight you. Okay, take it away.
Thank you, Marissa. Good to see you again, hear your voice. And my brother Richard, thank you for this honor. As I was going through your list of poems that you sent, I was trying to think of what I would want to read. And not try to read it from your voice, because like Marissa just said, there's only one person that can read it the way it was written, and that's you. And from the many conversations you and I have had, I tried to reflect back on what you mean to me. And for me, your poetry does connect us to understanding injustices in the world in a different way. I also thought of the laughing Buddha and when that was sculpted. Maybe the reason the laughing Buddha was laughing so heartily because it was reading Rick's words. So in honor of you, my friend, and bestowing this honor on me, I've chosen two poems that I believe captures the essence of you, which is friendship. This first one is called My Friends. They've carried me aloft. My friends have too often brazenly, crazily scoffed. My friends have given me a ride. They slept in woods with me outside. My friends have given me a job, and cheerily have they my pockets robbed. My friends have shared with me their music, otherwise I'd surely never ever chose it. My friends have joined me in my salt sea swimming, in my losing, in my winning. They've played their dirty pranks, stood beside me when my trusty boat sank. My friends have left me in the lurch, they've joined me in a church. My friends committed comedy with me and chased me, raced me in a tree. My friends have helped me paint a room and never failed to drive away my gloom. They've served their finest dish and bid me, kid me, make a wish. Drank my fresh rat soup, got me lost while we were sailing in their sloop. Surprised me with a party, chided me from being arty, joined me in my studies, and when my boots are muddied, argued with my politics, or when I'm too serious, played their tricks. Traveled with me, come what may, stood in the dawning morning in the tide at Oceanside, at break of day, after long nights. Joined me in a volcanic bath and chided me, kid me, until could hardly help but laugh inside me. For a lark tossed me in the sea, and yet without them, what would e'er I be? End of piece. And to leave you
Oh,
this.
y'all are me. Oh, sorry, Raul.
That's okay.
Wait, you have one more?
Yeah, I have one more.
Okay, sorry. Hang on one sec.
That's okay.
You can go whenever you're ready.
Oh, okay. I'm just waiting for you. And I'll leave you all with this fine bouquet of purple flowers. Beside the path, watching birds and insects, hearing people pass, nurtured by rain, enlarged by the star above, sharing your patch while these neighbors green. What can you tell me from your watch it means? Can you whisper of tomorrow? Will you share your little sorrows? As you rise your face today, I cherish and bless you there in your place of clay. I'm no less rooted in my soil, combined part friendship and part toil. Here along this path, we pass both of us, nestled there amidst our grass. End of piece. Thank you, my brother. The honor is mine for being here for you today.
Oh, thank you so much, Raul. Yes. That's how you have to say his name, everyone, for the rest of his life. All right. But feel free to unmute your mics, give it up for Raul and those wonderful readings.
I
Yeah.
can't pronounce it
Well,
the
indeed.
way you do there, Marissa.
Great selection. Great selection, Ron. Great selection. You read it extremely well. Beautifully. Thank you.
Inspired by the man. Inspired by the man.
Agreed. Agreed.
The
I
words,
love this
the words
celebration
are
of
there.
love.
Like all
All
you
right.
have to do is read them aloud.
That's why we're all here, regardless of what he creates communities of friendship. So
Yep, this is true, and we love him. We love all of the baldness too. It's fine. We love all of it. All right, let's keep going. Mona, thank you for being so patient. Mona's like been engaged the whole time. I really appreciate that from you. And then Neil, you'll follow Mona. Generalissimo, you are in the hole, which means you are in 2. Let me spotlight you, Mona. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And thank you, Rick, for inviting me to read. I was looking through your poems all night and surprised I picked just the one that Raul did. And I found myself thinking if I had more time, I probably would pick another one. But you know what? I don't want to do that. I want to read it again. So this is for you, Rick. Thank you so much for your friendship and for your kindness. And we all love you, and I'm sure you know that, but I just wanted to say it. My friends. They've carried me aloft. My friends have too often brazenly, crazily scoffed. My friends have given me a ride. They slept in the woods with me outside. My friends have given me a job, and cheerily they have my pockets robbed. My friends have shared with me their music. Otherwise, I'd surely never choose it. My friends have joined me in my salty swimming, in my losing and my winning. They've played their dirty prank, stood beside me when my trusty boat sank. My friends have left me in a lurch. They've joined me in a church. My friends committed comedy with me and chased me, raised me in a tree. My friends have helped me paint a room and never failed to drive away my gloom. They served their finest dish and bid me, kid me, make a wish. Drunk my fresh rat soup, got me lost when we were sailing in their sloop. Surprised me with a party, chided me for being arty, joined me in my studies, and when my boots were muddy, argued with my politics, or when I'm too serious, played their tricks. Traveled with me, come what may, stood in the dawning morning, in the tide at ocean side, and break of day after a long night's night. Join me in a volcanic bath and chide me, kid me until couldn't hardly help but laugh inside me. For a lark tossed me in the sea, and yet without them, where would I be? Thank you, Rick, so much. Thank you for everything.
Y'all unmute your mics for Mona, please.
I like your reading,
Nice,
Mona.
Mona.
As I wrote in the chat, beautifully done in 2 voices.
Yeah.
Beautifully done.
Well done, Mona. Well done.
I love it. I just love it. Let's go. Next up, we have Neil, and then Generalissimo, and then Marilee. And if anyone, since you know we're doing pretty well in time, a couple folks could not join. So if there were anyone who wanted a shot at the pinata, so to speak, to get some to be able to read a poem of Rick's, then just let us know. I'm sure he could send one or post one in the chat. Neil, let me go ahead and spotlight you, please. and take it away.
Thank you. I've chosen Ice Cream on a Summer Night, but before I read it, Rick, I just want to say thank you for everything. You've really been an inspiration. As I got into poetry seriously, I've looked upon you as a real source of joy. And every time you've read at Between the Lines or elsewhere where I've now started to encounter you, it's just been pure pleasure. So Ice Cream on a Summer Night. It's Ice Cream Month, so enjoy the thought of such ancient pleasure. Mouth memory never forgot. By cone or bowl or down the sides, the droplets roll, cool and tangy, or like sharp sherbet spangy, with frosty ice from some half-closed slid that down the spoon and onto lips a kid. Does your favorite come in threes like those triplets on a summer evening breeze? The 1, 2, 3 of vanilla, chalk, and strawberry, or more exotic, green pistachio bee? Are you for the crunchy cone? Sitting there on couch alone, plain or sprinkled is your fave, or down the side, deep chocolate poured to savor? Go ahead, try another flavor. But if you've enjoyed this vaporous wish, go ahead, have another dish. Thank you.
Let's go. Yes.
And the readers in this room is ridiculous. Like every voice. Well done, Neil. I just love listening to you.
Thank
Good
you,
job,
sir.
Neil.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's so wonderful. Yep, I just love it. And I'm so excited that Kellen's show brings so many people together. It's really become a staple in the community. So I'm super, super proud of her and super excited for that. All right, Generalissimo Brian Franco, you are up now, sir. Let me find you. He's my twin. Generalissimo has a show on our sister platform. The Word Is Right. Oh, I won't be able to spotlight you because your camera's off.
That is correct, yes.
Okay.
The first poem from Rick is This New Wheel Thingy. This new wheel thingy makes my bingy hurt, and that's the part that means they're smart. While I'm walking, that's what I'm talking, and this new thing fire, I'll take a pass, it'll never last. What? Burn my food? You gotta be crazy. Besides, you silly goose. Besides, I'm too lazy. Then there's those horses. What they for? I hear them talking. Not me, my friend. I'll be walking. And then this next poem is called When I Among Brave Poets Sit. When I among brave poets sit, I know the very soul of wit. When among such souls as these, I dare to so farmer to his harvest springs. When gathering with such as these, I proclaim, I know the heart of truth by name. Among these souls, the song of truth is common, not rare, like along the avenues of commerce phenomenon. The bold, or say the trembling truth, among these poets speak boldly, bright with youth. From all these poets wilt thou hear the special truth so bold and dear, brilliant revelation of the self, or the trembling gambol of the merry elf, as each rich mind hath gathered forth their wild metaphors for all their worth. Darting similes might thou find, some even in reverse, rich from the heavenly laden vine. I'm always charmed by melodies rising, whether deep in love or delicate disguising. From many lands and many climes, a million accents wilt thou find, but always with the voice of love fulfills the voice of gods above. I am nurtured in such company sublime. May I ever in such sweet Olympian banquets solace find. Thank you. And I'd like to just I'd like to say because I have had the pleasure of meeting this man in person, and I read at his local reading, which was at a vegetarian restaurant, and met some of the local poets there. And I just, there is something to be said about your sense of humor and your wit and your ability to infuse that into a lot of very poems about a lot of serious subjects, and you just when Rick is in the room, you know you're gonna smile. That's all we have to say.
Aw, I love that. And it's so true, y'all. Feel free to unmute for Generalissimo.
Yay, Generalissimo.
Well done, Brian. Well done. Yes. Yay,
All
brother.
right, and that's very true. If Rick's here, you know you're gonna smile. And I love doing parody poetry, so I was like, yeah, let's go. Let's go. All right. Last but certainly not least, we have Marilee Johnson. If anyone else, if you asked to read in the chat and I missed it, just feel free to unmute or raise your hand or type in the chat again. The chat goes so fast for me. If I missed anyone, it is not on purpose, I promise. But if you do want to read, I will get you added in. All right, Miss Marilee, let me spotlight you and take it away.
Thank you so much, Rick, for everything you do for the community and for the encouragement you've given me. And since I just went ahead and chose what I wanted to read, so I'm going to read Donate, 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 or Die. Dems, please. Darling squeeze. Let's really not blame the electorate. Geez. Biden's half measure goes slow presidency. This ain't a business as usual remote control residency. And the student loan disaster. Remove the mountainous crushing debt. That's what we're after. End the social security debate. Up the pennies. Jeeves, grievous Christ. And oppose Republican vandals at the gate mentality. We need to speed up justice on this obvious obscene criminality. Republican writing rules to steal the election, yet go slow justice, fools? We see with only small fry selections. Can't you see the big connection? They're changing polling, gerrymandering galore. Then Dems are funding ghoulish right-wingers with Dem dollars, whores. When they announce in advance the only results they'll accept is heads they win, tails we lose, and you don't need to be some adept to imagine what November will be like, an obscene scheme, it's no dream. Like racing a Maserati with a three-wheel bike? Now you're blaming rank-and-file Dems? Sorry, that dog don't hunt. Supporting inquisitional Republicans? Who thought up that stunt? Obama and Biden issued dire warnings. Let's wait till the weekend before the election while Repubs the walls are storming. Wait till a week out, make a couple speeches while Republicans are armed and dollared and bloody collared and are already storming the beaches. Starting a week out, really? Why not wait till later when we have to unearth democracy out of some Republican crater? You're blaming voters. Really, Dems? I really thought from way back we were really friends. Dem money sent to prop up goons? When responsibility lands, you'll be sneaking out of the rooms. I thought they'd noticed on January 6th, when Republican strategy was to a rabid dog hitched. I guess maybe it was just tourists dropping by, no big deal. Donate, 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 or die. That's how I feel. Thank you, Rick, for writing such great work.
Thank you, everyone.
All right, y'all. Feel free to unmute for Marilee.
Good job, Marilee. Good job.
Thank you.
It's just such a great expose of anyone would enjoy this book. This is definitely not like any other book you'll read from an author who's not like anyone else. And so the individuality, the authenticity, the content, the humor, the wit, it's just, if you have a friend or someone who has everything, you don't know what to get them or whatever, this is a book to get them. If you have someone who is just wanting to read something new and refreshing and different, get this book. If you have someone who does not have a sense of humor, maybe this book could help launch that for them. But it's just a wonderful, wonderful read, and you'll have a good time reading it as well. The book's only $20. Shipping, I'm not sure what rate.
Do you think this might be a good? I think this might be a good gift for a conservative person.
That's exactly it. I mean, if there's someone who doesn't have a good sense of humor, who maybe can't handle certain things, I would absolutely get them this book as well. The message, right? The message has to be received in a way. I think that reading his book will do that. So sure, you have a conservative friend, get this book for them. Also, get them American Graveyard, right? We should send a whole package of books to conservatives, a whole package of books we could send them from the poets here. But yeah, anyways, the book is $20. It does have his drawings in there and some other bits and pieces of his artwork. So it's not just a flat out literal words on a page. He does have some schematics and drawings in there. And then there's plus shipping. If you're international, just get with me or get with Rick. We can figure out and calculate the shipping to your area and have him sign and send you a book. So just because you're international, clearly Finn has a copy of the book. So I think Finn had shown the book, or one of the international poets had shown it. So we can ship anywhere in the world. Yeah, there we go. So just let us know. Yes, you can get the link. If you go to Rick's Facebook page, you can also go to the Red or Green Books website, and all the links to his social media and where to get the book. All of that is also on the website. So if you're watching this back and you can't see the chat, or you're not in the room right now, you're missing out. Then you can do that, but you cannot email him rwspoet@outlook.com, and he will get you a signed copy. So this is a little Q&A portion, and I won't keep Rick too long because I'm sure it's very draining to be on here for a long time, and I want him to go rest. But I do want to open it to questions. I have a few questions I always ask the poets here. If anyone has a question for Rick, you're welcome to raise your hand or type it in the chat. But I will let you know that he can say no to any question. He is not bound to answer anyone's questions. So you may ask and he may say, no, thank you. I don't want to answer that. And that's valid, and that's his prerogative. And he is under no circumstances forced to answer anyone may ask him. But if you're curious about something, you are welcome to ask. So I usually ask the poets a couple of questions. I want to say, Rick, what was your favorite thing about publishing Stone Poetry?
Well, let's say I've published 4 books now, and the most pleasant, supportive, engaged publisher I've ever worked with is the charming, the talented, the giving, the supportive Marissa. It's been a pleasure to work with you, my dear, and I will work with you again and do everything I can to support you and Red or Green Books.
Oh, thank you, Rick. And I feel the same way. Like, you've been one of the most proactive poets I've had the opportunity to work with. And, I had so much great esteem and respect for you before, this book was even a thought. So it has just been an honor to publish you. And so as we look forward as a publishing house, Rick is part of the legacy that we're leaving, and we're paving the way for a lot of the poets who are going to be coming up next. Do you have any bit of advice or anything that you would recommend for the next group of authors, especially as we focus on debut authors who've never published before? Do you have any advice for any of the ones who are coming up next?
Well, the first thing I would say is the most fun in the world about writing is talking about writing. The least fun is doing the editing, doing the compilation, organizing. That's the least amount of fun. So if you want to work and make the work of your publisher easy, then I would say get it all down, organize it, build up your table of contents, have it all worked out, and then talk to your publisher, because they're going to tell you what else they need beyond what you thought of. So that would be my first suggestion. The other thing I would say is it's better to have too many pieces than not enough. This way you can pick your favorites or the best or whatever criteria you want to use, the ones that start numatically in reverse alphabet, Yeah, so just get it done first and then talk with your publisher. That's what I would say.
I love that. That's wonderful. And I will just say, what's next for you? I mean, aside from all of the stuff that's happening right right now. But what does 2024 look like for you? What is your future? How can people get involved in not just your book, but also the different platforms that you have and the shows that you have going on?
Well, all things working in the positive. I hope to restart Poets of the East. There are so many good poets that I think deserve a showcase. Another thing that I want to do is, Poets of the East as a place of bringing individual poets on and exploring their work beyond the reading a couple poems kind of thing, which we all know from the Zoom community. Not in any way to fault the Zoom community. The Zoom community is a wonderful, wonderful bridge across the world. I think there's probably not one person here who hasn't made a strong friendship across the globe from their work with Zoom. And it's so nourishing, and not only does it make your heart feel good, but also I think it improves your poetry because you're sharing, you're seeing the reaction, you can tell which ones are really landing home and which ones are going. So that's all to the good. But I also want to expand to a new area. Many of us poets are also playwrights. And I've done some experiments in the past where we've read from Shakespeare. We've pulled together a Zoom Shakespeare play. Wonderful. It's worked great. I want to do more. But there's some other plays I want to carry on that are, should we say, already out there. For example, Enemy of the People. I don't know if you know the play. Enemy of the People is so powerful and so current. Now, it happened in the late 1880s, but it is so current for our time about a scientist who wants to expose pollution, and to say that he's discouraged is to not touch it. He's literally basically ostracized in his community and driven out of town because he's trying to protect the people of his town. It's amazing. I'd like to stage that. I think that'd be a wonderful piece to stage. But I also want to provide opportunities for our fellow poets and playwrights to pick, 2 or 3 poems over a season and ask for volunteers for readers and then, stage these things. Because again, I think literature is so badly taught too often. It's put up on this pedestal. Like, how many people have when you just say the word Shakespeare, they're like, oh, nose in the air, oh, I know what that is. That's stupid. That's arrogant. That's, marble bust stuff. When in fact, if they were introduced correctly, they'd say, my God, what a rich humor, what a knowing person about the human heart. And having opportunities to showcase that and to help other people have a chance to experience that, that's been marvelous. And I'll tell you, I had a chance to teach children and have children read Antony and Cleopatra, King Lear, Antony and Cleopatra, Julius Caesar, and King Lear. These are been so well received by children by 3rd through 6th grade. It's amazing because of the truths that are there. But I don't want to put the cart before the horse. I have some healing that has to be done first, and I treat my plans. I try to ride light in the saddle.
Hopefully, we are giving you a bunch of good healing and loving energy today, and then that goes down into your soul and your heart and your body and your mind, and can help heal everything that needs to be healed. But you're right, and I'm on be on board for that. I always wanted to do a show called the Poetry Playhouse at The Word Is Right, which is either a study of a play or someone who's written a play and having people sign up to read roles and doing like a live reading of a play. So I think that is such a great thing to do, and I would love to see that. Raul has his hand raised. He wants to ask something.
Just any opportunity for you to roll your R's. I have to run, but I wanted to say something real quick because my family is upstairs waiting for dinner. Two things. Question is for you, Rick. You know, I think this is your fourth or fifth book. I'm sure you've heard other people read your stuff before, but today, in light of where you are in this passage of your walk, how do you feel now, having connected with the ones that have left and the ones that are still here? I think you have a personal relationship with everyone in these Zoom boxes. How are you feeling right now, my brother?
I am more than nourished. I am spiritually strengthened to know that my work has touched such great souls as you all. You, I'm sure, have a sense of how refreshing, how much stronger I feel as a result. And I thank you from the bottom of my soul for your generosity and your caring. It is, luckily, I have a little moral strength to keep my composure, but I'm beyond belief blown away. Thank you all.
Well, from our many conversations, you know, I'm not a religious man, but there is wisdom in everything that is written. Let he who has watered be watered. And this is why we've been here today. You've touched us all in ways that goes beyond your poetry. I know for myself personally, I cherish the conversations we have, you know, whether it's about life, politics, which we butt heads on, but I welcome it because steel sharpens steel. And I don't like to consider myself blue or red. I just try to straddle the teeter and stay in the middle. And the last thing I'd like to say, as much as it's important for us to support poets, I think what Marissa and Red and Green Book is doing, I sent a young man that is interested in publishing towards her, and as soon as they ended, I assume it was a Zoom call, he goes, what an amazing experience. He goes, I don't know if we'll do anything together, but he was just in such praise of how you handled him. So I think it's important that we support not just poets, but the publishers that are willing to put themselves on the line to bring these words to life. So on that note, I'll say thank you for this honor. Such an honor to be in such company that was inspired by that man with the beret that has a gift, not just words, but a gift of friendship. I love you all.
Love you too, brother. Thank you.
Just wait till Rick starts to discover wigs. Like, I just can't even tell you how much fun cosplay is. Okay, like it's so much
Timlin
fun.
may have some competition then.
Because like when we started zooming, right, that was never mind. Anyways, so but thank you so much, Raul. And you know, the young man who I met with, he was lovely, and I was super excited. I left the meeting very much electrified about it too. Like wow, we're gonna have an incredible launch in 2024. And there are additional Canadian poets being invited. So who knows? Maybe it's something, you know, that we'll be doing is something in Canada. But it's very exciting to meet new people and to constantly be reaching. And the work Rick is doing and all the Red or Green Books authors is paving the way, you know, for these newbies to come up and to be able to walk a path that is a little less bumpy, perhaps, than it was the year before. And
Well, I just
they're
think if they're sorry, I just think that was probably their first dip of their toe with any sort of publisher. And the fact that it was such a positive, like I said, literally, you might have just hung up and he was on saying, "Oh, thank you for, you know, directing me towards." So I just thought you should know that because, you know, what you do is behind the scenes. The poets and the words are up front, so it's important. It's important.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Usually when people get to me, either they're really excited because the world hasn't wrecked them yet, or they're like super jaded. And I've met with poets who've been really monumentally, epically rolled over. And you know, that damage that's done to poets when that happens is just really difficult. So, you know, kind of taking them and showing them a different way of being and to be treated. And we should all be treated with respect. We're all poets. Poetry is important. All of our stories matter, and no one can tell our stories but, you know, the poet. So I'm glad he was excited. Hopefully he'll come and do something next year with us. Thank you for the connection. And like I said, if anyone else is interested in who's never published a book and you want to consider next year's launch, do. It's an incredible family and community to be part of. And now, Rick, you're part of this family. And I thank you so much for that. Does anyone else have any questions or anything that they would like to ask Rick as we wind down today?
I will volunteer
All
one
right.
more
I would
revelatory. When I was writing at least one of those poems about the friendship, all of those anecdotes happen, including feeding a friend rat soup. I was doing a study for the college, and I had wanted to volunteer for some science project at the college while I was still in high school. And the college said, well, what we need is a rodent study. So study for 6 months how many rats live in a certain field. And then when you capture them, I want weight, measure the skulls, clean out the brain inside, and then stuff it and mount it. And I had literally a shelf in my father's garage of stuffed rats that I would once a month take and turn into the college. Well, I had a friend who was a biology fanatic, right? And you would think he would notice the fact that my shelves are filled with stuffed rats, each with an attachment with the information in the skull. And one day I'm boiling rat skulls to pull away the meat, and I'd be turning these in with the stuffed rat. And he came home, it was after school, and he goes, wow, Rick, that stuff smells really good. What are you cooking? And I go, well, I'm boiling rat heads, you know? And he goes, no, you're not. That smells great. That smells like chicken. That's good chicken, man. Do you have, he goes, can I have a bowl? And I go, no, I really don't think you'd want a bowl of this. And he goes, no, seriously, I'll take it right now. And I go, okay. So I pour him a nice healthy bowl of rat head soup.
That's not even oh.
And when I gave one to my girlfriend,
it's never a dull moment.
No. But listen, thank you all for coming. I'm so touched. Marissa, I'm in your debt. Thank you.
You are so not in my debt at all. Thank you for being part of this press in our launch. Would you like to close us out with a poem, Rick?
Sure. I could be convinced. As you know, who've heard me before, I try to include some politics. I try to include some science. This is one about that pair of asteroids that were purposely struck to see how could we possibly move rocks coming toward the Earth and move them away. So this is called 470 million miles. Dimorphos and Didymus, quite a pair. We thought we'd strike them, but we'd settle for a spare. Didymus, reconnaissance and asteroid camera for optical and navigation. Draco in all it has a. Its sole mission is the smash to give the asteroids a forceful pushy bash. Speeding at Dimorphos at 4 miles a second dart headed for its final destination with a kind of AI assisted arrival reservation, not to land but just a wreck-in, also a very special kind of noisy check-in. Racing to the rendezvous just to knock it about, and then we're through, determined to shake and shout a tiny defensive earthquake make. 4 miles in 1 second makes quite an impact, or so it's reckoned, make no mistake. Dimorphos is the rendezvous, one tiny tap for mankind, a brutal slap but it may be sublime. The journeys through the deep distance mapped planetary defense at an asteroid shoved from its position, relentless slapped. We're not opposed. We like to keep our current rents, a special kind of frugal defense. But what it'll be measuring, what service Dart made it, or should we just be nervous? The entire scheme a kind of sci-fi dream to push about from this tiny spot a chunk of heaven from 1 to 11. Dimorphos had many similarities to other asteroids, and our rockets have visited instead of avoided. That spaceship from Earth has gotten quite looks-in recently, particularly that it resembled a pile of rubble rather than indecently. Can we maneuver a great space rock despite all the destruction, give it a shock? Even more damage the right wing can do when they mock from their antique vantage. We'll see in the coming weeks when all the space telescopes send in their recent peaks. Dimorphos and Didymus. Thank you.
Let's go. Y'all unmute your mics. Give it up for the great Rick Spisak.
We love you,
Rick, what
Rick.
a treat.
Yay. You're awesome.
Thank you, my friends. Thank you.
Please get your copy of Stone Poetry. You can message him directly, email him, and get your signed copy for the holidays. Put that on your wish list. Tell that's what you want in your stocking, whatever it is. Just get your copy and he'll sign it and send it to you as soon as possible. That way, earlier the better. Yes, Serene, get yours today. Absolutely. He'll even send you some free rat soup in the mail. Just kidding. He won't do that. He might send you the recipe for rat soup, though. All right. Thank you all so very much for being here. Rick, peace and blessings, sending so much healing, love, and light to you and yours, and your wife and your family for the holiday season. And I thank all of you so much for being here. Please continue to support poetry, continue to support one another. The platforms, our sister station is The Word Is Right. We have shows every day of the week. Please check that out. Go to the YouTube page, like, share, subscribe, and follow. That helps us continue to move people like Rick and his book launch into other avenues, so other places, and people can discover the poets who we've launched. If you don't have anything else for the holidays, consider sponsoring a U.S. state senator. That is a very huge undertaking that we are a part of at Red or Green Books. Otherwise, thank you all so very much for being here. Congratulations, Rick, on your book. Get your signed copy. Peace and blessings, and thank you all so very much. I'll see you next time.
Thank you.
Bye, Rick. Congratulations.
Bye.